No, she's been being prostituted for a long time. Since a kid, she's been being prostituted, bro. You know, her mom, dad, nobody give a fuck about her, bro. Nobody cares, bro. Nobody cares, bro. No,
On The Cosby Show, you were the world's sweetheart.
Raven has been performing in front of 44 million people since she was 3 years old.
There's so much pressure to be feminine beauty.
Well, you look very attractive tonight.
Thank you.
There's a lot of rules in place. How cute can you be? How sexy can you be without showing sex? My sexuality, I knew that this can't be talked about.
What happened to Raven on The Cosby Show?
I just black out.
I would appreciate it if it will not appear anywhere.
I didn't want to tell my parents. I knew I couldn't say it out loud, but that eats at your soul. That eats at your soul.
Wait a minute. Was Raven Symoné made to change her name to a S while she was still under contract with Disney? Orlando Brown is making headlines again, and this time he's talking about how Raven Symoné was reportedly forced into. Raven says that when she was younger, she was abused a lot and force-fed unhealthy food to lose weight so that she would look better on TV for the possible creeps who watched her every day. Raven's parents also pushed her into the Hollywood way of life when she was 7 years old. She hasn't been the same since. They not only made her hide the fact that she was gay, but they also used the promise of fame to get her to do some very bad things. Raven quit everything and ran away from the business when she was at the top of her game because of the bad treatment. But let's start with Raven's early days in the business before we talk about all of that. Raven's big break came from the popular Disney show That's So Raven. But she had already been in a few other TV shows, like The Cosby Show, where she played Bill Cosby's step-granddaughter, and Hanging with Mr. Cooper, where she played Nicole Lee. But, as I already said, her career really took off after her Disney show That's So Raven. She did well on the show, but she also had roles in The Cheetah Girls and several under Disney movies. As you might expect, all of this success came with problems, and Raven's problems were very bad. Raven told the audience that some business leaders would tell her to cut back on the food she ate because she was getting too fat. She said that people have been mean to her about her weight since she was 7 years old and a star on The Cosby Show. They would tell her over and over again not to eat on set and wouldn't bring any food near her. She wasn't even 10 years old yet, but they were already starving her on set, even though they knew she had to work up to 12 hours a day sometimes. I remember not being able to get the bread or anything. That's what we called it crafty, where there's just a table of food and you can pick what you want. People would tell me, "Don't eat that, you'll gain weight." I'm hungry and I'm 7 years old. It was tough.
Wish I was living now
as a younger person.
I probably wouldn't have so many mental issues.
Throughout your life, through your career, the things that were said to you. Do you remember anything in particular that sort of haunts you, that someone said to you at an early age about the way you look that still affects you today?
I was too big to be doing an hour-and-a-half concert. I don't know how she can dance being that big.
Wow.
And I was like, and I still did it. I went on tour forever because it's not about your size. It's about what you have to say, if you can sing or dance, and performing. It's not about your size.
That wasn't all, though. She also had to hide the fact that she was gay because they wanted the guys who watched her to still be able to get close to her. Raven was almost forced to hide the fact that she was gay by making her date guys so as not to raise any suspicions.
My likeness, whether you see it in an interview, whether you see it on print, whether you see it, however you see it at that time, had 15 people dictating what I should and should not look like. If I did whatever I want, I'm not gonna sell because it doesn't go with the brand. I was branded at such a young age. And then you wonder why all of these child stars have these issues. You were not allowing them to grow up as human beings. You were stifling them at the youngest and most important development age of their time. And then you expect them to be normal later? In my head, I have 3 different brains. At that age, you had to compartmentalize. I never thought I would come out because my personal life didn't matter. It was only what was supposed to be sold as, you know, the Raven Symone brand. So it was something that I always thought in my head, I'll always have a friend. I'll have a husband and I'll have a friend on the side so I can be happy. So I can have both, you know, taken care of. I get this, you get the beard, you get whatever. That didn't last. I don't care anymore because I fell in love. And I was kind of over the industry. I wanted to retire.
For those who don't know, Orlando Brown was one of the guys Raven dated to hide the fact that she was gay. so that men would be more interested in her. Yes, you did hear that right. They were both in That's So Raven together, and Orlando was used as her fake boyfriend by their team. This is what Orlando said about this in 2016 when he was asked about it.
Well, speaking of Raven and Mickey Mouse, you had that line in No Fear.
Yeah.
You know what line I'm talking about?
Yeah, tell Minnie Mouse to suck my sack like Raven did when she was black. When you hear that rat-a-tat, I suggest you a scat. Yeah, well, I meant just that.
Just that?
Just that, yeah.
So what do you mean to say like Raven did when she was black?
I mean, I told you in the first interview, I mean, she gave me, and then I gave her some, yeah.
Orlando has been quiet about his relationship with Raven, but he has been very vocal about how the business takes advantage of kids who aren't old enough to do bad things, and Raven has been said to be a victim of some of these things. Later, Orlando confirmed the reports in an interview with Camp Capone News. He said that he had seen a lot of bad things in the business that really messed him up.
Not intoxicated unless you're just, you have to be really in tune with life and just notice bone structure, skin, eye color, everything. You have to be in tune and you'll be able to see it. It'll manifest itself right in front of you, you know what I'm saying? But just for me to be sitting here and being like, nah, because, man, people done lost their families, bro. People done lost their kids and shit. A lot of stuff done happened.
Orlando wasn't done yet, though. He said that the business can do horrible things to kids like Raven and get away with it because the kids' parents usually know about it and let it happen for money. When they see how much money their kids bring in, they decide to let the business do whatever they want with them.
They're shipping and people, adults, the moms, the dads, right there on Target commercials, right there on Walmart commercials. And you're looking at the people that are missing and they're smiling like they're happy, but they're going back to hell. And that's really what it is.
Orlando isn't the first person to speak out against how kid stars are used in Hollywood, which makes things even worse. A lot of famous people have said the same thing before. They've been called crazy, though, just like Orlando. One of them is Corey Feldman, who is also a child star and got into a lot of trouble.
I'm saying that there are people that were the people that did this to both me and Corey that are still working, they're still out there, and they're some of the richest, most powerful people in this business.
And they are.
And they do not want me saying what I'm saying right now.
Are you saying that they're
Yes.
and that they're still in this business?
Yes.
It was the same with Corey's comments. They were ignored because people thought his drug use was making him talk crazy and that he was just making things up to get attention. Later, in 2020, he put out a video called My Truth, in which he named everyone who him, such as Charlie Sheen and Marty Weiss, a talent manager. These claims were backed up by Corey's ex-wife, Susie Feldman, and his Lost Boys co-star, Jameson Newlander, who saw some of it happen. Going back to Raven, she was in the news again a few years ago when it was revealed that Bill Cosby was a serial many women in the business, including girls underage. A lot of people started to wonder right away if Raven was one of the girls he had touched inappropriately. Those of you who remember her used to be on The Cosby Show before Disney found her. It's also possible that Bill did these gross things to Raven at some point while he was out here doing these gross things to other people. This is even more interesting because after these two rumors spread, Raven came out and said that Bill had never touched her. She wrote on Instagram, "Mr. Cosby did not take advantage of me when I was on The Cosby Show. I was really cute on that show. And this is a horrible lie that I don't want to hear. That show's cast and crew were all very nice to me. Keep me out of this now." No one in the world believed a word of this because it was clearly written by her team and not Raven herself. At the time, some people thought that Raven's team may have released this statement because they didn't want her to think about the bad things that happened to her. Not only that, but the statement was also not consistent, which showed Raven even more that he did not agree with it. One example was that the statement said everyone on the show was kind and loved her. Raven was the same person who told the show they were wrong for making her go on a very strict diet when she was only 7 years old. As if that wasn't already fishy enough, Orlando Brown just did a very revealing interview with Real Life Productions. He also said that he and Raven have been fighting for a while because she doesn't like how he keeps going public with all of her problems on the internet. It was said that she was trying to kill him and even take his kids.
Raven been going through a lot, bro. She been trying to kill me. She kidnapped my kids, all kind of. She been doing some shit. So it's kind of hard for her to come out and everybody knows she been doing shit for so long.
He didn't stop there, though. Besides that, he really shocked everyone when he said that Raven had been a since she was a child. He said her family knew about it and saw how she was tossed around the business like an escort.
I would love to hear Raven's truth of her perception of her life.
Yeah, that is deep. You know, she's been being prostituted for a long time. Since a kid, she's been being prostituted, bro. You know, her mom, dad, nobody give a about her, bro. Nobody cares, bro. Nobody cares, bro. No,
It's not clear where Orlando got all this information, but keep in mind that they did work together as a PR team at one point. But he knows her inside and out, so that's for sure. Besides that, they were both in a TV show together, and they stayed in touch for a few years afterward until Orlando became addicted to drugs. Some people in the business have been really mean to Raven, but now the truth is coming out, and Orlando isn't afraid to say what's on his mind. Now I want to hear what you think. What do you all think about Orlando bringing the business to light? Also, do you all really believe Raven was a prostitute in the business?